Hello everyone, it's Deetra back with another love lesson. So today I wanted to quickly get on here because I'm actually about to leave and I'm so random, so I just figured I would go ahead and get this out, say what I needed to say for anybody who needed to hear it today, and move on. So this will be probably pretty quick. But what is the what do you think question? It is, why is it that the one that I want doesn't want me? So I know since I have been single for a while and I've been divorced and I've just really been through it, some ups and downs, twists and turns, been in some relationships, and this is in my book as well, There's More in You. So I wanted to talk to you about it because I've struggled with it and I think that you could benefit from what I have to say. So here it comes. So a lot of times when that happens, when the one that you want doesn't want you, you ask yourself, like, what is wrong with me? So you don't want to tell your friends that you're thinking this, but you're really saying, like, what is wrong with me? Why does this keep happening? And let me tell you that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Did you hear me? There is nothing wrong with you. A lot of times it is not you. It is that other person. It is that other person's preferences. It is that other person's where they are in their life. So what I wanted to do is give you a few different reasons of why do you always get rejected. If this is you, or maybe you want to share this video with one of your friends if it's not you, and they're wondering, why is it that, or they're always calling you. So they're always calling you when something goes wrong and you have kind of ran out of things to say. So there's a few different things. The one thing that I've noticed in my personal experience is that you may not be ready for the one that you want. You may not be ready again for the one that you want. So a lot of times, and I've had this moment, this honest moment with myself of saying, okay, there's this thing that I want, or this person that I want, because we're talking about love here. There's this person that I want, but am I really ready? Let's be honest, because I am a very impatient person. If you're impatient, I see people coming in on the live. If you are impatient, give me some love here because I feel alone with my struggle with impatience. But I am a person that can be very impatient. So that being said, a lot of times I want something that I'm not quite ready for, and I don't want to be honest with myself and say, yeah, I'm not quite ready for that. I've got some things that I need to do before I get ready for that. So you really can use this to help you with a number of things, and it doesn't always have to be love. It could be anything or anyone that you feel rejected from. So that being said, that's the number one thing. When the one that you want rejects you, it could be that you're just not ready for it. So take an honest look, and I always suggest prayer to deal with that. The number two, why is it that the one that I want rejects me? We're just not in agreement. So you can't walk together. And those that take it to church, those ministers, I am not a minister, I'm a coach, but those ministers, they know what I'm talking about. If you cannot stand in agreement together, then you cannot walk together. You cannot be together, period. And shout out to Sean Scales for that one. I had this conversation with him, and it really, really helped me to open my eyes to some things that if you're not in agreement with a person, you're not going to be able to be with that person, period. So they can look good. They can have all the things that you're looking for. They have great values. They're a great person, all of that. But if you are not in agreement with this person, it's not going to work. Okay, so don't take it personal just because it didn't work out, or you may feel as if they're rejecting you. Do not take that personal. I'll give you one example because I'm going to talk fast here because I'm supposed to be leaving right now, and I was messing with the camera and it didn't work out. So, an example is there was a guy that I was being really random because that's how I am. There was a guy that I was dating, and I thought, I'm going to be really honest and really vulnerable right now. So some people are going to judge me. I'm saying this for myself so I can get this out. Okay. So there's this guy. I wasn't really that serious about him, but I was like, oh, he sings and, he's cool. It will be, it'll be great to date him. So just for the time being, right? So I started dating him and it seemed like it was really working out. As far as me getting the attention I wanted, really didn't necessarily see like a really big future with him, but I was like, he's great for the time being. So what ended up happening is, well, let me circle back. He said, why do I always attract your type? Like, you like to dance because I like to dance, but I've danced in the church and I'm like super spiritual. So if you know me personally and you're not just seeing this, as a stranger, then you know that I'm a spiritual person. But I also like to dance. I like to have fun and things like that. So it was kind of like, he's like, okay, he saw that in me. Like, you are a woman that is really a good girl. So while I may have saw you at a bar or whatever, this was a while back. This is not recent. So he's like, while I may have saw you there, that's not really who you are. So he started to get to know me. He said his background was definitely in the church and things like that, but that's not really what he wanted. And for me personally, I'm not going to be in a bar every weekend. Like, that's not happening. So that's kind of what he was wanting to do. He was a singer, so he would go out to the different bars, and that was a part of him networking. That was a part of him getting his name out there. Sometimes he was singing, but I could not see myself doing that every weekend. So therefore, we were not in agreement. But this one right here, I just had an issue when he chose to be with somebody else besides me, knowing good and well we were not in agreement. So I hope that little story helps somebody, because it's kind of an embarrassing story to tell. There's a whole lot of details there that I left out, but it's kind of an embarrassing story to tell. But that being said, I hope that helps with a person where you're thinking like, okay, this could be in marriage or whatever, because it happened with my ex-husband as well, where I'm super ambitious and he like, sit down somewhere, can we just be together? Can we just love on each other? And I just love like going for it. And he was like, chill. So we were not in agreement. And then I also had the nerve to get a little upset because we were not in agreement. So I've given you two. One is you're not ready for the one you want. Be honest with yourself. The second one is you're not in agreement with the one that you want. And I just shouted out Sean Scales for that one. The third is you're just not a good fit for the one that you want. So a lot of times we don't know what we need. So we've got some things in mind as far as what we want, especially if you're newly single and you're just like settling in and you've been in a relationship for a really long time. You just don't know quite what it is that you would need from a partner. You think you do, but you really don't, because you have to go through a healing process for you to really sort out what's really in you and what would be best suited for you. And some of the stuff that you think that you want, some of that stuff is like superficial. Some of that stuff is stuff that it really doesn't, it's not necessary. And really it could be counterproductive. So that being said, I mean, there's so many different things that I can say about this, but I am trying to keep a time limit here. So I've given you three things, and I also want to give you, there's another question that I got, and I wanted to read through that question for you guys. And if you have questions and you're watching on the live, then definitely type those in. If I see them, I will definitely answer that question right away. And if I don't see them, then I'll answer it after we get off the live. But I'm going to read one of these questions. She sent it in for a guy. But I'm going to tell you, I'm doing interviews also for single people over 30. I'm interviewing singles, male and female. And I started this, but I'm still working out some technical difficulties. So a guy did answer her question. So this question was, why do men act like Okay, so why do men act like they want the woman in front of you, or why do men act like you want the woman in front of you, but you walk away with many others? So that was what her question is. I asked a guy, so let me see. Let me go ahead and just give his answer. So what he said, and you'll be hearing this straight from the guys here soon when I get my interviews and everything up. But what he said was, and I've been through this a lot too, but he basically said if a guy just seems like he just walks away from you suddenly, then the issue was basically he was never with you to begin with. So fellas, if you could give comments on that. Is that true? Is that not true? I know that's what my dad has told me in the situation that I described, where I felt like somebody, he picked someone else and all of that. Like if that is true, fellas, please comment. If it's not true, please comment. But basically, that was his response, and that was Mike that answered that question. So shout out to him for answering that question. But now that we are about at the end here, I do always want to give a love lesson, and I did jot down some notes. So the love lesson with all of that, with when the one that you want rejects you, this is the love lesson, is that you've got to love yourself enough to wait for the one that is right for you. So if someone is rejecting you, that is just God redirecting you so that you can continue to transform and you can continue to become everything that God would have you to be. Okay? So you don't need to feel like, you don't need to take it personal. You don't need to feel like something is wrong with you. You don't need to feel like it's the end of the world. You don't know what to do. None of that. And some of you have big enough egos where you're not going to feel that way. But I know I questioned myself a lot when that did happen to me, where I was like, what in the world? Like, why is it that this guy that I have started to like, he's liking this other girl or this other female, and it wouldn't be any hate on this other female, but I would just always wonder. So now, from going through all of those experiences, I've learned there's nothing wrong with me, and there's nothing that I could have done differently. I just need to continue to work on myself and continue to grow, and the right one will be there at the right time. So if this helped you, then please let me know. If it didn't, then please let me know that too, because this was just really heavy on my heart. So I was just like, I really got to do this. So I don't know who this was really for. It just seems like I couldn't get the lighting right, couldn't get things the way I wanted it to be. But I appreciate everybody that dropped in. Everybody, hi Sean. I know I don't say hi right away. Hi, hey Aaron, you sounded great at church. Hey Steph, hey Danny, hey John, hey Sean, again, I see you again. Sharif, let me see who else. Hey Tanisa, hey Corey, hey Gary, and hey Mark, hey Maria, I miss you, girl. So that, I think I've got to everybody. I know I don't acknowledge you right when you come on, but I see you and I appreciate all of your love and your support. So go ahead and like this video. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to my video for more videos like this. And then also, if you are single and you're over 30 and you just want to talk about it, then what I'm doing is I'm interviewing singles over 30s, because a lot of time we just really need to get some things out, some things that are on our minds, some things that are on our heart, just knowing that we're in this together and that we're growing and we're developing together. Or if you're a person that you consider yourself a relationship expert, then definitely let me know and I would love to interview you. But until next time, remember to treat yourself like royalty, and there is more in you. So there's more love, there's more hope, there's more peace. Enjoy your Saturday night. That's what I'm about to do. And goodbye, my loves. Mwah.